Hey guys, it's been a while, and I had some people wanting to know how I do the garden stuff, and I didn't actually get a chance to do this early in the spring when we first set this up because I was just too busy. But I thought I would take a moment and show you what we have for our garden. It's now July. Our growing season starts in about May where I am. So we have a later growing season than a lot of people, but anyway, this is where we are as of July 8th, and let me just show you what we have here. My husband built these 4 raised garden beds because we have a lot of rabbits in our yard, and so anything we planted would just get eaten. So we figured this would be easier. So we got some reclaimed wood, and he built these boxes, and they are 4 foot by 4 foot so that you can reach into the center and grab anything that's in the center. And they are, I believe, the dirt has to be 6 inches deep. So I'm thinking these are just slightly more than 6 inches in depth. So what we are trying to do is the square foot gardening technique. And I looked at a lot of different things online trying to figure out what technique to try to use, but we decided to go with the square foot garden just because we didn't have a ton of room and we knew we wanted these raised beds. So with the square foot gardening technique, that's a technique that was started by, I believe his name is Mel Bartholomew or something like that. I got his books from the library, and that's kind of how I found out about it. And then you can also look online, but he's got a lot of information about square foot gardening. And basically what you do is just break up your garden beds into square foot sections. So this is 1 foot by 1 foot. And we started a lot of seeds indoors. Some of them did okay, some of them didn't work so well. So we transplanted some out here, and then some were just put out here individually. So if you're like new to gardening, like I am, still don't know very much, but you can look into which things do best with transplanting and which ones do best just put directly into the soil. So let's see, I can go through each box and kind of tell you what we have going on. So we'll start with this one. This is my cabbage and broccoli one, and they're not really growing. I don't think I'm gonna have success, but large plants like cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, they need more space. So with these, we just plant 1 in each square foot. So this is my cauliflower, and I have like 1 little one growing in the center of each square. These have broccoli, but that one's like just starting. They're not really growing. I don't think I'm gonna have success with that, but we'll try. And then these are cabbage, 2 cabbage. So with big plants, you put 1 per square foot. The ones up here, that one, and these two are zucchini, and that is a yellow squash. Those are so big and take over that you actually do 1 per every 2 square feet. So there's just 1 for both of these because it's going to spread. Same with this one. This one takes up those 2, and this is for those 2. So these boxes don't have a ton, but we'll see how it works. And also, the soil mixture used for all of the beds is 1 part peat moss, 1 part vermiculite, and 1 part compost. And the compost is a bunch of different random compost, so you don't use just one kind. You want to mix and match them, and you stir it all up and then put it in here at least 6 inches deep. So that's what soil we're trying to use. So that's this box. It looks like my zucchini is doing pretty good, but the other stuff doesn't look like I'm gonna maybe get anything from it. I need to maybe research a little bit more on that, but this box is doing a lot better, and I've actually already switched out some of the things. So these two are empty now, but I had beets in here, which we had pulled. This one, these two were full of lettuce. Lettuce, you can have 4 per box. We just ate one head last night, so it's gone. So we have 3 lettuce. These ones I planted later, so they're smaller. There was also lettuce in this one, which we've already used. And now I have planted dill, which looks like it might be about to bolt. So I'm gonna use that. These raised ones are carrots. So when you have something like carrots that need to grow deep into the soil, you need to make those 12 inches deep. And so to do that, my husband just built a box, just the frame of a box, and we set it on top of one of these squares, and then just added extra dirt so that we have more like 12 inches of dirt. So these are carrots, and because they don't take up a lot of space, you can plant more per box. So carrots are 16 per box. So you can see where I planted those. And you can see over here as well, some of my seeds didn't take, but they're growing pretty well. Don't remember, these are some kind of flower, I don't remember which flower I had, as well as over here. I was just filling in. So these are beans. I believe they are pole beans. I just planted them like, I don't know, less than 2 weeks ago, and they've grown really fast. I had some Swiss chard over here, which we used some, and then bugs kind of infested it, so took that out and planted these beans. Got some leeks down here that are just really teeny tiny. I don't know if those are gonna do very well either. But there's some bigger leeks that I bought from the store because I was having difficulties growing mine. This is a tomato plant, and then I have oregano, and these are my cucumbers. So cucumbers, you can do 2 per square foot. So you can see how each one is different, I mean, depending on the size of crop. So this one has 16 per square foot, this one has 9, this one has 2, there's ones that have 1. So but depending on what you're growing, you can grow a different amount in each square foot, which is kind of nice. Then back here, we have some different types of hot peppers, and then eggplant. These haven't really done much. I started all of those inside, and when I transplanted them, they just kind of, they didn't do so hot. I think they might be, I don't know, I'm not sure if they're gonna live or not, but hoping to get some eggplants. I would assume they'd be further along by now, but we'll see. And then I also had grown some onions inside, started them inside, but they were just not doing very well. I don't think my lights that I bought were strong enough, so I actually just bought these onion sets from the store and put them out here. Onions go 9 per square foot. So there's those. We had radishes here, but those are empty now. And then we have 3 squares of, oops, I'm turning you all around, I realize. 3 squares of bell peppers. So we'll see, those didn't transplant so well either, so I might not have very much success this year. The back 4 are tomatoes, so like peppers, tomatoes, those are all 1 per square because they get so big. So these are Roma tomatoes because I'm hoping to try to can some stuff this year. So you can see there's little tomatoes coming on. So I'm excited about that. I had grown those from seed inside as well, and as soon as I transplanted them, they died. I think maybe I didn't harden them off for long enough, so we ended up just buying some very small plants and then putting them in here, but they've grown a lot since then. I do have one left. This one I had done from inside, and it's still surviving. This one's a beefsteak, but everything else is a Roma tomato. So I have lots of squares of Roma tomatoes, and then in this final one I have some more different types of flowers to try to help keep bugs away, and lettuce. So I had 3 squares of lettuce. This one's now empty. We just emptied that one. But we've had some really great success with our lettuce. think it's probably going to bolt here soon because it's getting pretty hot. So I'll have to figure out something else to go there. I have another box of carrots over here, and then these three were strawberries. I had bought a strawberry pack and I planted it, and radishes grew. So I don't know what happened, but I was a little ticked about that because I didn't want more radishes. I wanted strawberries, but we're going to try to see if I can get some more strawberry plants to put in here so that next year they'll hopefully spread out and grow strawberries. So those are the square foot gardens. This is just our first year trying it, and so far it's worked out pretty well. My husband has had to adjust the sprinklers a lot. That's probably been the hardest thing. So he just took sprinkler little mini misting heads and kind of put them in different places, but we've had to readjust, and as things grow it blocks the sprinklers. So some places don't get as wet as others, and that's like over here you can tell it's not as wet. That's been our biggest struggle probably, is just trying to get things watered. In the early spring I was coming out and watering it by hand, which was great, but the problem with summer is we're gone traveling, camping a lot, and so we needed something to water it for us while we were gone. So I think that might be part of the problem why some things are not thriving as much, but for the most part we've had some decent success. Now this won't feed you for long. I mean, you can't grow tons and tons and pounds of carrots and onions and all these things, but for a small beginning garden I think it's been pretty good. So yeah, I'm not sure what other information you might want to know, but you can leave questions in the comments below and I might be able to answer them. And if it's stuff like about the building or the sprinklers, I can ask my husband because he did that. I did the planting and the harvesting and all that stuff, but he's the builder. So those are that, and then I'll take you for a quick little tour. We also have, can't really tell, but we bought 2 pear trees, which I think have died. I think they got a fungus. So I'm really bummed about that because I was really excited to have fruit trees too. So we have those, and then we also bought a peach tree, and this one's actually doing decent. It's small because we just, we haven't had it for long, but I'm hoping to get at least a few peaches next year. So we have a peach tree, and then on our patio we also just got a couple containers to add more. So we have a couple small tomato plants that we just planted. I'm hoping to get a little bit more tomatoes from there. We have a raspberry we bought, so hopefully we'll get raspberries next year. And then we also have our blueberries. So I think we're doing pretty good on getting a variety of produce, and hopefully we have success with it. So that's a little tour of our garden. If you have any questions. So I thought I'd come back really quick while I was at it and just add this to the garden video. So in one of our spare bedrooms we have this little greenhouse thing that we got for like $15, and this is where I was trying to start my seeds, and so some of them started and did okay, and some of them didn't do so hot. I have 2 lights, grow lights that I bought at Walmart, and I had just one per shelf before, and I think it just wasn't bright enough, so I condensed it and I put 2 per shelf, and now this is where I have some of my herbs and stuff growing, and they seem to be doing pretty good. So I have cilantro, green onions, basil, and then, I don't know if you can see, but I have more basil. I love basil. And then these are just things that had died earlier that I need to take care of. And down here I have another pepper plant growing. So I'm hoping to clean up my mess of supplies down there and turn that into a little garden in the winter. I'm hoping that I can keep herbs alive and maybe grow lettuce or something through the winter in here. So we'll try it and see what happens. And the other thing I wanted to show you, because it sort of relates, is my canning shelf. I just learned to can last year. I finally decided to take the plunge after watching Heather at A Needy Homesteader. I really like her videos, and she was terrified of canning, and I was terrified of canning, and I decided to just try it. If she could do it, I could do it. So, anyways, I got this rack this year to hold all my canning jars, and I'm hoping, really hoping I can fill it up. I'm really excited. Once again, I saw Heather's, she has a whole rack of different things like beans and zucchini and all these things that she cooks with, and that's what I would like to do. So right now I've only just gotten started, but I'm hoping to fill this up with all my tomatoes from my garden and all the other stuff, and maybe next year hopefully we can have a bigger garden. But just show you a quick peek at what I have. So up on the top shelf, these are like jams and jellies and apple butter and pear butter, and I have a cherry pie filling. So it's just jams and jellies and stuff like that. And then this I just made, this is strawberry lemonade concentrate. So you just mix that with water and you have like homemade strawberry lemonade. Oh man, that is delicious. So I have some of that, and then I have some beans down here that I did last year with my mother-in-law. She showed me the pressure canner, so that was my first pressure canner. I'm kind of scared to eat them, even though I know we did it correctly. But I'm going to conquer the pressure canner this year. Anyway, those are pressure canned, just like pinto beans. And then up here, I also got an Excalibur dehydrator, and I've started dehydrating stuff, which I'm really excited about. So I just did onions. And so now you can add these to soups throughout the winter, or rehydrate them and add them to anything, or powder them. And I actually just made my own onion powder that's so much better than store-bought. So that was kind of fun. And then I have shredded carrots for, like, you know, carrot cake. I make carrot cake pancakes or soups or anything like that. And then I also have diced carrots. And then I went to Costco and bought a 3-pound bag of already peeled garlic, and I just sliced it up, and now I have garlic that I can add to soups or anything, and that is garlic powder. So I took this garlic and I just put it in a like coffee grinder and ground it down into my own garlic powder. So I'm excited about that. I have red bell peppers diced up, mushrooms, which I think I might like powder this too and add it to spaghetti sauce and stuff like that. I don't generally like mushrooms by themselves, but I think if I powder it and add it, it'll add, you know, more nutrients and more flavor to like pasta sauce and stuff like that. There's some red cabbage back there, and then big thing is strawberries, so I can make strawberry muffins or even just eat these as a snack. Chopped apricots. I'm gonna try to make an apricot bread, I think. So there's that, and then pineapple, and that's just good to eat on its own, like as a snack. But I decided I wanted to start getting my own, basically my own like pantry going at home that didn't have all this extra junk in it, like stuff you can buy at the store. And I wanted to be able to just come in here, grab a couple things, and be able to quickly make dinner now that I have a toddler and I just don't have a ton of time. So I'm hoping to fill this up with more beans. We don't eat meat, but I'm thinking if we get lots of beans, or I can make soup and pasta sauce and pizza sauce and canned tomatoes, that I won't have to buy those kind of things from the store anymore. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I just have some supplies down here. This is the Ball electric water bath canner. Oh, I love it because you don't have to use your stove, and it's big and it's awesome, and it has a nozzle on the side so you can just drain the water into your sink. So I really, really like that. Then I just have my big stock pot for cooking things in. I have some little mats that I got from the dollar store that I use on my counters to put the jars on. I was using towels, but I didn't like that idea, so now I have these mats from the dollar store, like drying dish mats that protect my counters and the jars, which is nice. So this is kind of some of my stuff. My pressure canner's in another area, but I'm thinking I might do maybe some like canning and dehydrating videos in the future, so I thought I'd just show you this shelf, and hopefully I can fill it with stuff from my garden. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.